May I come in, sir?
Yes, please do.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
You're Mr. Jitendra Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Jitendra, you're comfortable with English as your preferred medium
Yes, sir.
and you're fully vaccinated.
Yes, sir.
Then please remove your mask.
Sure, sir.
Comfortable?
Yes.
Jitendra, I would like to inform my fellow board members that Jitendra is from Rajasthan
Yes, sir.
and you did your graduation from IIT Delhi in 2017
Yes, sir.
with mechanical and production engineering.
Production
Engineering. And that's it. Is there anything else you would like to add to this introduction?
Yes, sir. Sir, I am from Sikar district in Rajasthan. I did my schooling from Navodaya Vidyalaya Patan in my district only. After graduating, I am preparing for civil services exam, and recently in 2019 I got selected for CAPF assistant commandant, and I got BSF as service.
You're currently assistant commandant in the BSF, or you're
No,
still
sir,
on
I'm on EOL.
Okay. Can I read your story in a sense that you did your engineering because everybody was doing?
Yes, sir.
You started preparing for all government jobs since everybody does. You landed with one job, you're appearing in the second job. There is no set career plan in your mind. You just want to land up with some government job.
No, sir, I don't agree with you on that. I started actually during my college time. I was more focused on some startup and business. I started an online platform. It's called Bion India, and I built it on my own self. And we started selling the products from handicraft products on that platform, which we got from Rajasthan and Saharanpur area. But eventually I got failed in 5 courses. Because of that my CGPA came down and I had to shut down this business part, because my family forced me to focus on IIT part at that time. But during my at that time I had this thing in mind that I want to pursue UPSC, because I really want to work with people. I really want to bring an impact in people's life, and I interacted with my seniors also who are into the service. So I can certainly say that I was focused on that part, that I want a good job in which has in which I get authority to empower people. So, but yeah, I would say ki eventually I ended up doing multiple things, because I had a family pressure. Being the eldest sibling in my family, I had to take care of my family also, because I lost my father in 2003. So I was forced by my family to get a job first and then focused on the next path.
Anyways, thank you.
So, hello Jitendra, how are you?
I am fine, sir. Hello.
You are from Sikar.
Yes, sir.
Describe Sikar.
So Sikar is in northeastern part of Rajasthan. It is famous for temple of Hatusamji and Jeen Mata. It is also famous for Haveli and forts at Sikar like Fatehpur and Laxmagad Haveli. Economically, most of the people are engaged in agriculture, and there is a large scale migration towards the Gujarat and Maharashtra region. And yeah, that's it, sir.
How much is the forest cover of that district?
2% only, sir.
Okay. You must have traveled from Jhunjhunu to Sikar number of times. You must have noticed plastic ki kheti. I mean, a lot of plastic laid around the road. Have you seen that?
No, sir.
So many plastics are lying in the periphery of the roads. So this is actually a problem in those districts, Jhunjhunu and Sikar. The used plastics. So how are you going to tackle that particular problem?
So plastic waste or
plastic wastes?
Plastic waste on the roadside.
On the roadside, yeah.
For that, sir, community nearby who are living nearby that particular road area need to be sensitized, need to be educated enough. Apart from that, the entrance point from where the vehicles enter, they can be the boarding or hoarding can be put on the roadside to sensitize the people not to throw plastic on the road, or dustbin can be provided at 1 kilometer distance, if I think it's economically possible at 1 kilometer distance to dump the plastic waste.
Okay. Your DAF says that you were involved in counseling activities in your college days.
Yes, sir.
So what are the basic steps required in counseling?
First of all, you must have we must have the expertise or knowledge for a particular field or for a particular exam or whatever it is. Second thing is that we must be enthusiastic enough to deliver that thing. Third thing is to provide counseling. We must be acceptable and open to listen to the person whom we are counseling. Fourth one is we must be empathetic enough. We must be sensitive enough to listen to others. So these are the few things, sir, I would like to mention.
Okay. Can you tell us the key points of Forest Survey report in 2000, the report which was laid in 2021?
Yes, sir.
So what are the key points? And there was a mention of Hotspot also. So can you please explain that also?
Yes, sir. So this is the first time that Forest Survey of India came out with the climate hotspot in the region. And the forest cover which was mentioned in the report was 21.71%. The tree cover was 2.89%. The state which are having maximum forest area are Madhya Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha and Maharashtra. State which are losing or which are on the path of decreasing the forest area are Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya. Mangrove cover has certainly increased by some numbers, but it is 0.59% of total area. This is the first time we are measuring the forest cover in tiger reserves area also.
Thank you.
Jitendra.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me something about joint forest management committees.
Yes, ma'am. Joint Forest Management Committee concept came in 1988 National Forest Policy. Through this, what we try to do is to involve the forest dwelling community into the forest conservation, and through the legal system, the forest department collaborate with the nearby community to conserve the forest area and to compensate them for that part, for their role.
Okay. And through which act it is done? Is it written in some act? Joint forest committees?
I am unable to recollect it now, but it was through the National Forest Policy 1988.
Okay. So you are from Rajasthan.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me a few endemic flora and fauna of your state?
Fauna is Great Indian Bustard. Fauna is Acacia catechu, which is called as babul, which is found in desert area of Rajasthan. Other one is Chinkara, which is called as Indian gazelle. These are the few names.
What kind of plant is a bear and Kair Sangri? You must have heard about Kair Sangri?
Yes, ma'am.
So what kind of plant it is?
It is a thorny plant. It is found in western part of Rajasthan.
Okay. And what specific environmental condition it requires?
It is a drought resistant plant. It requires less water. It has no deeper roots as such. So I think these are the conditions which require.
Okay. What is happy seeder?
Happy seeder is a machine to cut down the stump remaining after the paddy cultivation, and to mix it with the land to prepare it for the wheat cultivation in Punjab or Haryana area.
So why is it seen as a solution to stubble burning?
I mean, it cut down and it mix up the remaining of the paddy effectively within a short span of time, so that the land gets ready for the wheat cultivation for the Haryana and Punjab farmers, so that they don't have to burn it immediately and cause the pollution.
So what is wrong with stubble burning? So people or farmers have been doing it for ages.
Yes, ma'am. Earlier they were doing it, but actually what happened, they were doing it. They were not doing it before, because now what has happened, due to some MSP or due to some shifting in the climate, the wheat cultivation is taking place prior to the previous time. Like wheat cultivation used to take place in November, December. Nowadays it is taking place during the September or October. So they have to follow this practice of burning this paddy, so that their land get ready to cultivate the wheat crop as soon as possible.
Okay. My last question to you. Tell me, what positives and negatives can you understand from feminization of agriculture?
Yes, ma'am. So a positive of feminization of agriculture is that woman comes out of their house and do some activities, physical activities. Women are more nature centric, so they care more about the livestock and the agriculture part. They plant more trees. They certainly add the family income or family finances as per se, along with their male counterpart. Negative on the other side is that they are not in India. Most of the women are not entitled or titled with their land property, so they don't get the benefit, the legal benefit associated with that particular land. Second one is that it increases their domestic responsibility as such. They don't get much leisure time for their own activities or for their own interest. They can't pursue their own interest.
Okay. Thank you, Jitendra.
Good afternoon, Jitendra.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
What do you understand by land degradation neutrality?
A land degradation neutrality is a step or a process through which we try to increase the physical, chemical and biological productivity of the soil or the land.
Okay. And what does neutrality stands for then?
Neutrality stands for countering the effect of the current land use to maintain the soil productivity.
Okay. And what are the targets we have set for ourselves in this area and vis-a-vis UN Convention on combating desertification?
Ma'am, I'm not sure, but as far as I remember, we have set a target of, I think, 30 million hectare of land by 2030.
You are roughly accurate. Okay. So, and what do you understand by when we call blue carbon can be the way forward in the area of climate change?
Yes, ma'am. Blue carbon is a practice of sequestering carbon through the ocean, because ocean.
Is it natural or is it artificial? Or it's both?
It's both, ma'am.
It's both?
Yes, ma'am.
So can you tell me in which sites artificially carbon has been sequestered in the ocean successfully?
Yes, ma'am. So iron is.
Iron fertigation.
Iron fertigation is there. Iron is poured into the ocean.
Where has it been done successfully?
Sorry, ma'am, I don't remember.
Area you don't remember?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and if I ask you what are the impact of climate change and global warming on biodiversity distribution? Species numbers are decreased, and if I ask its effect on distribution of biodiversity.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have some impacts on distribution?
Yes, ma'am. Certainly, we have some impacts. For example, ma'am, if I take the case of my state only in Rajasthan, the climate change and the global warming is impacting the area under desertification. More area is coming under desertification, and the biodiversity in that particular area is decreasing. It is extending eastern beyond that desert park.
So the desert is increasing. And if I ask you in case of animal species, do you see any such change in distribution in Himalayas or in any ecosystem?
Ma'am, certainly it is affecting the natural habitat of the animal species, like Great Indian Bustard out of the habitat destruction or the not natural environment. They are moving.
You're talking about displacement, and is there any shifting happening with altitude, latitude? No?
Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Jitendra.
Yes, sir.
You come from Rajasthan.
Yes, sir.
So, in Rajasthan, we often hear about this term resort politics.
Resort politics?
Yes. What is it?
Sorry,
in Hindi, it is called Barabandi. Badabandi. No?
So, Badabandi, if I bifurcate this term Badabandi, then it means there is some certain area in which, like, Badabandi is for the cattle only.
Okay. Now, don't you think MLAs these days are also being treated in the same manner?
Yes, sir, it is happening.
Okay, and what is the reason for that?
Due to the fear of their either abstaining from the voting or to shift to to vote for the other party, they are taken into custody by particular party.
Is it good for democracy?
No, sir, it is certainly not good for democracy.
So what should be done?
so political representatives should have a free will in the country, and they should be outspoken in whether in the parliament.
So do you think that party politics is responsible for this?
Yes, sir.
Like we are giving more importance to party politics rather than individual will of the concerned
Yes, sir.
representative, right? Recently, if we talk about international relations, then India did a flip-flop. What happened? India said that it is going to export wheat to the world.
Yes.
Okay. And the very next day, we said that we are not in a position to export wheat. So what happened in a day?
Sir, I don't remember exactly, but if I have to analyze it, wheat inflation in the country was increasing, wheat prices were increasing. So, and Ukraine and Russia are into war, and they are the largest exporter of the wheat. Certainly, we have some commitment towards this African continent, and we have cordial relations, and Africa is the largest continent which have highest demand for the wheat. But it might be because of the inflation in the country, because we are not fulfilling the domestic needs of the wheat.
Okay,
So
do you think it harms India's reputation in the world? At such times of crisis, when all the countries were looking towards India and India was in a position to help, it finally chose not to help.
Sir, but domestic needs should be fulfilled first.
Okay, if there is a choice between protecting the environment and protecting national security, which will come first in your priority?
Sir, if it should be decided by the intensity and by the level of the threat we are getting from the.
For example, the Char Dham road. Okay, the Char Dham road was being built in Uttarakhand. So, do you agree with what Supreme Court said?
Sorry, sir, I don't remember the case.
But still, like if the road is being built and that will be helpful for our defense forces, but on the other side, we'll need to cut down a lot of trees. So, which option would you choose?
So, forest conservation should be the supreme, but if it is being compensated by planting trees somewhere, and human need are also being satisfied through that part, then it can be done.
Okay, my final question to you is about green hydrogen.
Yes, sir.
What is green hydrogen and why is it very important for India?
So, green hydrogen is producing hydrogen through electrolysis, and in that electrolysis, the electricity used should come through the renewable sources only, like solar and wind. So, if in that way we are producing hydrogen, then it is called green hydrogen. India has focused its India is playing a leading role in renewable energy. It has made commitment at Glasgow summit last year, in COP26.
We have also set up a pilot plant which is going to produce 99.9% pure green hydrogen. Can you tell me where it has been set up?
Sorry, sir, I don't know.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Jitendra, you mentioned that you are now assistant commandant BSF. You are selected as assistant commandant. If you look at the Central Police Forces, we see there is a clash between the concept of federalism and the Central Police Forces.
Yes, sir.
And recently we saw when the jurisdiction of the BSF was extended in Punjab to have the conflict with the police forces there. Do you believe that the center should restrain itself when it comes to use of Central Police Forces? Otherwise, the federalism will be gone for a toss.
Sir, it has to be done in a very sensitive manner. Like Punjab, Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir, these are very sensitive area. I believe more power should be given to the paramilitary forces or the border forces over there in comparison to the police. But in the hinterland area or in the inner side of the state, the power can be reduced. I mean, I think there are provisions like BSF can.
But the fact is that the Constitution does not allow center to have police forces. Law and order is a state subject. So why should the center have any police force at all? They should have army, they should have the other defense forces, but not the police forces.
Yes, sir. But center has to act as a binding force for all of the state. Punjab is a very sensitive state. It had the history of Khalistan movement. So, sir, to bind all this state into one unit, or to control the issue of insurgency or some ultranationalism over there, center has to have maintained some decentralized forces. That is why these are called paramilitary forces. And
Paramilitary forces and central police forces are the same, or they are different?
they are the same, sir.
They are the same? Sure.
Yes, sir.
Can you name a few paramilitary forces?
BSF, CRPF, SSB, ITBP.
Where they draw their power from? We just mentioned that it is a state subject. Under which act they function?
Sorry, sir, I don't remember.
Not even about your own BSF?
No, sir.
Fine, Jiten. Nice talking to you. Your interview is over. You can go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
आइए बैठिए। जितेंद्र, CAPF में कितने मार्क्स थे?
सर मार्क्स बताए नहीं अभी।
अच्छा, and is it going to be the first interview in the forest service for you?
Yes, sir.
And civil services?
No, sir, I haven't appeared.
Okay. What's your take? You are happy with your performance today, or you believe that it can be a bit better?
So it can be a bit better.
Which areas?
CAPF, assistant commandant area. Apart from that, the sir asked resort politics, because it is in the news.
Right. See, you can look at the current affairs whatever time you have, right? So you'll be able to find out the issues you still need to brush up. But overall, Jitendra, you are definitely a good candidate. Your background is humble, and that reflects well in your personality, and the board will be happy to see a person who has already seen some struggle and have tasted success as well. So that way the board will be eager to have interaction with you, and you need to capitalize on that, right?
Yes.
Overall, your personality is good. You'll be wearing a tie that day, right?
Yes, sir.
And a suit.
Suit.
Right. So I'm not commenting on that part, but because you were not wearing a tie and still have this button up, so it was looking a little different. So, but take care of it on that particular day. But overall, otherwise, your personality is good. Sitting posture was good. Voice level wasn't bad. Hand movement wasn't much of a problem. Eye contact was also good. Initial part, when the introduction was being asked, I think you took a little longer than you should be taking, right?
Sure.
Especially because partly the introduction was already given, and both methods are adopted in the UPSC. Sometimes the chair read the DAF, or sometimes they actually ask board member candidate to introduce himself or herself. So you have to calibrate your response accordingly, right?
Sure,
so if
sir.
the board is already informed of certain things, then only those few things which are not informed should be mentioned. So it should not be that long, right? Other things in general good. Maybe current affairs you should revise a bit, and everything else is in place. You need not worry on other fronts. The things you have mentioned, please read it of it, right? All the best.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.